Good morning, Coolest Coast. It's time for Coffee with Kristin and Tina. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Coffee with Kristin and Tina. We're your hosts. This is Kristin Odell. I'm Tina Prigge. So happy to see you this morning.
Good morning. It's Friday.
It's Friday and it's raining. I was starting to take the sunshine for granted. I have to admit, I loved just knowing, okay, it's a good day. You can go out, and now, but I know we need the rain. And so I'm going to enjoy it for all those reasons, but it's raining.
It is raining and it's a little bit dark, and it would have been a great day to sleep in.
Hey, and I spy that you have done something cool, and I really want to know more about it. So I want to dive right in by pulling this up. Okay, first of all, you're kayaking, which is awesome. And then I was like looking, and I don't recognize the coastline, and I think I see palm trees in the distance. Okay, tell us everything.
So I was super blessed to attend a coaching conference in San Diego, California. So I actually left last Saturday and I got home yesterday afternoon. So I've been gone all week, you guys. I've been on a different coolest coast.
And yet here you are. Thank you for taking the time to be with
Yeah,
us this morning after all
like
that travel.
kicking out, it's different because this is Clifton Strengths coaches from all around the world. There's like 100 people that come together for this conference. And you're just taking in, it was 3 days of presentations and facilitation ideas and keynotes and like all these incredible things. Yeah, there's me leading a small group activity on Tuesday afternoon or Tuesday morning, I think it was. So fun, right? So you're just like taking in all this information, but then, in the evenings, there's a pretty good sized group of people, like 6 or 8 of us, that have known each other for like 5 years now, or maybe some of us longer. Like my friend Jenny, that was in the kayak, I've known her longer. And so we just get together and we have so much fun and, do all the catching up. But Jenny and I planned a fun day. So if you remember last year, we went whitewater rafting in Colorado. This year, we did this kayak kind of cave tour in the Pacific. Yeah.
Okay, so this is a little spooky to me. How was this?
It was good. We thought we were going to get to like paddle through caves. And then the reality is we got to like go in this cave, look around a little bit, and then leave the cave. So it wasn't maybe what we thought it was going to be, but it was still really cool. And Tina, for you, these are live pictures. They were taken live. So if you look at them on your phone, there's some movement in these, but
Oh, cool.
it was still a really cool experience. I've paddled a kayak in the ocean before, but there were like 4 foot swells when we were out. So just even being able to like feel that and roll with it was really fun. And like, let's be honest, California sunshine.
So were you nervous at all, like with those different conditions?
No, no, not at
Okay.
all. No. When we first went out, it was kind of like, oh, these are some pretty big waves. But then after we got going, then it was no big deal.
Was this your first kayaking of the season?
Oh, that's a good question. I think so. I think so. Yes. It won't be my last.
It's interesting. I was thinking, I was sharing a story with somebody yesterday, and we were talking about kayaking. And I said, my first kayaking experience was in Nepal. And I had never done it before. And my girlfriend said, let's do it. And it was like a class 5 river. I had no idea what that meant, right? And it was these crazy rapids. There were things called like the toilet bowl that swished you around. You had to learn how to do an Eskimo roll to like right yourself after, like, it was terrifying. It was thrilling and terrifying and hard work, right? So anyway, had a great experience. But when I got back to the States and somebody said, hey, you want to go kayaking? I'm like, nope, definitely not. Never need to do that again. And then I found out, like, oh, kayaking can just be hanging out on Silver Lake or like drifting down the Manitowoc River or like what we did. I'm like, oh, that's a totally different experience. So
Correct. That's right. Yeah, it doesn't have to be crazy. Yeah, so like Jenny and I did whitewater rafting last year, and that was intense and fun. I never felt scared there either, but it was a blast. So, this year it was just kind of like, that was just okay, you know. But I don't ever want to complain about it. And At one point, they challenged us to balance on the kayak, like kind of like a paddleboard, and and I fell in, so I was very cold. But I was able, like, because of strength training and everything that I do, I was able to get right back in the kayak, no problem. And then I tried again, and then the second time, I actually tossed myself and Jenny out of the kayak, and our kayak flipped over. And our guide helped us get the kayak flipped back over because they're very shallow, so they don't really fill with water.
Oh,
It's a very shallow kayak. You sit kind of up on top of it. So we flipped it over, and I gave Jenny a boost and helped her get back in, and then I climbed back in, and so that was probably the excitement of the day. But the thing I really appreciate, we were in the resort that we stayed at was in Mission Beach. So if anybody's ever been to San Diego, they probably can kind of picture where that is. But we were able to walk, within, I don't know, we'll just say a couple miles, restaurants, places to hang out on the beach, live music, all these amazing things. So roller coasters, amusement park there. We went on it was very much like the Zip and Pippin at Bay Beach. So that's my friend Jenny, and then my friend Kevin, who I've known now for probably for sure 5 years, maybe longer. We hit the roller coaster up, and just you've got to adventure a little bit when in Rome.
right, right. When you visit a new place, explore it. Oh, Kristen, it sounds so wonderful. So then, okay, what about this?
This was our breakfast so the kayaking event was in La Jolla, and we went to this amazing breakfast place, and I had this like wonderful egg dish with potatoes and roasted chicken and spinach, just very different things. This was my this was my treat. This was an almond croissant. And it had like almond paste in the middle, and then you can just see like the silverware and stuff. The vibe was so cute, and they have outdoor dining everywhere there because they do it year round.
And I love the glassware, like the pink and the green. It's just so pretty.
Isn't it? Don't you want to drink coffee there?
I do. I really do. And I want to eat almond cake there. And
Gosh, I did not need to eat an almond croissant, but I was like, I think I need to eat an almond croissant.
when in Rome, right?
Right.
Hey, so talk about eating. This also looks delicious. Is this at the same place?
Nope, this was back in Mission Beach. Jenny and I did a sushi night while we were there. So, we had some steamed dumplings, which are like our fried dumplings right there, gyoza. And then, I don't do raw fish. I just can't do the texture. So, we had the green is shrimp, crunchy shrimp rolls. They had tempura shrimp in the middle.
Oh,
And then the rolls in the front are crab and cucumber and avocado. And then the rolls in the back, Jenny ordered, I think those were, I don't know if there was crab in there. I'm not sure.
hey, Tim wants to know what was the name of the restaurant? Was it near the Cove in La Jolla?
So the Cove is where we were kayaking, and the restaurant was called Spice, Sugar and Spice and something. I'll look it up. It was a little ways away from the beach. We actually walked. We took an Uber to the restaurant, and then we walked from the restaurant down to the beach.
Oh, he said the breakfast place. Is that what you're talking
I'll
about?
get it. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was so fun. It's called Sugar and Scribe.
Ooh.
And Scribe, Tim.
Tim, do you know this restaurant?
Yeah, I'm curious. It was really, really delicious, and everything was like
Oh,
homemade and yummy, and
nice.
yeah.
Okay, so this coffee mug, like last week we were having a conversation about coffee mugs, and I still don't have the same feature that you have to create your own little emojis, darn it. And while I was able to save the coffee mugs you made to my phone, I couldn't get them to translate to like using them in Facebook or, so
Weird.
I bumped up against some limitations.
Yeah, so I saw this popped up on Facebook, but we've been talking about what groups of birds are talking or, and so Tim, He was rescued by Baywatch after nearly drowning in the cave in the cove. Really?
I do know that restaurant. Okay, so Tim, we're not sure if we can take what you're saying seriously or if you're speaking facetiously. Is this a joke? We need more information.
Yeah, I also am curious now if you were there, were you cliff diving? Because that's a naughty, naughty. Okay, so back to the crows. So this popped up because clearly my phone must be listening to our conversation.
Right.
And I thought this was hilarious. So we know from our conversations that a group of crows is called a
A
murder.
murder.
Therefore, two crows together is attempted murder, and a single crow is conspiracy to murder.
That's
We had never
hilarious.
talked about that. That would not have landed with me. I would
Right.
not have known what that was.
Right. Why it even said like murder with crows, right?
Yeah.
Just to close the loop, Tim did say true story. Okay, Tim. Wow.
That's wild. So Doug, that's one of the things Doug asked me last night. He's like, "Are there lifeguard stations?" And there is legit proper lifeguard stations all up and down the beach. They are definitely on duty. Yeah, it is like full on Baywatch.
Wow.
So,
Hey,
wow. I'm glad you didn't die.
yeah, right. We're glad you're here, Tim. Thank you, Baywatch, for saving our Tim.
Yeah.
Okay, so a murder of crows. Did I tell you that I just learned that a group of pelicans, when they're flying, is called a squadron of pelicans.
Ooh.
And it's fascinating that that's the word because when you watch them, like if they flap their wings and then they go into soar mode, they almost look like some sort of stealth flight vehicle.
Yeah, planes or something like that.
Yeah. But apparently, when they're hanging out in the river or on the lake, then it's called a pod of pelicans.
There is a lot of descriptors for or birds in particular, that I had no idea about.
I know. And
Thank
it's
you for
kind of
opening
fun.
my
But
eyes, my linguistic eyes.
it can also drive you mad if you try. Like every time I mention it, Teak gets so frustrated. He's like, "Stop talking about these random designations." Tim says it was a naughty, naughty when I lived
It
there.
wasn't.
Gary saved my butt. The tide shifted and I was getting bashed.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, our guide in the kayak, they would take two kayaks in at a time. They're kind of like, butt to butt. And he was in between the two kayaks and he very carefully guided us in and guided us out. But he said, like, don't put your hand on the rocks because they're very sharp. And I mean, the water is powerful,
Yeah.
very powerful.
You're brave, I think, for kayaking in those conditions.
I don't know. It didn't feel like a big deal. Maybe it was. I don't know. But
Well,
yeah,
like you said, with all of the power training and stuff that you do, the lifting,
yeah.
you're in peak physical condition. So you've taken all of the right kind of
Peak.
preparatory, you know what I mean? Like, well, compared to some of us, right? Like you've taken the right kind of preparation in your daily life to be able to
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have any issue paddling, with endurance. That didn't bother me at all. And, swimming. And even like the guide said to me, like, you make that look easy getting out of the ocean. Cause I, was strong enough to push myself up and get back into the kayak. But I'm thankful. Like, that's exactly why I was like, this is functional fitness at its best. It allowed me to be able to do that and have
Yeah.
fun and move around and,
Does that
so.
like mentally motivate you to keep going and to give it even harder when you're working out?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like at the end of the day, I don't know if we've talked about this before on the show. I think you know this just from our friendship, but like as our girls age and they want to adventure, I want to be able to go and do anything they want to do. And sometimes that takes physical strength and sometimes that takes mental courage, but like I want to be able to go and adventure with them. And that means I have to take care of myself.
Yeah. And what did Liz Wergen tell us at the Women's Summit? Movement is medicine, right?
Movement
Like the
is
more we
medicine.
move our bodies, the better it is for our.
Yes. Yep. Movement is medicine. Yes.
Okay. Tim said, I was pretty sure I was going to have to live on that little beach on the land side of the cave. I was prepared to become a hermit.
Yeah, there's like this little, like that cave the opposite of that, it kind of opens up and then like this, and then it's like a rock beach and a huge rock wall. So if you're in there, you're just in there.
Right. And the tides make a difference. And wow.
Tim, you'd have just been eating fish your whole life. And I'm trying to think of what the equivalent would be of like Tarzan in the water.
Tim, I'm just thinking how different the trajectory of your life would be if you were still stuck in that cove.
You would be a merman.
By now, yes, for sure. Hey, Kristen, I've said it before. My mom's an incredible finder. She's also got this knack for always just finding the coolest, fun cards, right? Like, doesn't matter the occasion. She always shows up. And I'm like, where did you get that? How is this possible? So it was just Teek's birthday, and she shared a card, and it's an actual video clip. I'm going to play it. Okay, here we go.
Awesome.
So it says, it's your birthday, and then inside it says, act accordingly.
Hey, speaking of birthdays, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tina. Happy birthday to you.
Aw, thank you. That's right. While you were gone, I got older.
Good. You did get older. You don't look a day older, but
Oh,
you did get older.
thank
How
you.
did you celebrate your birthday?
Oh, it was really special. So, a while back, you and Doug had introduced us to this pretty cool supper club up in Door County called Glidden's Lodge, right on the lake, beautiful view. And then for my parents' wedding anniversary, we took them there to have that same experience. They also loved it. So for my birthday, my mom, dad, Jason, and then Teek and I, we all went up to Donnie's Glidden Lodge, overlooked the lake. It was delicious, beautiful, fantastic company. The ride up was gorgeous. I counted 15 deer, like roadside deer on the way back. So that was exciting.
Yes. Wow. I'm so glad that you love that spot. It's called Donnie's Glidden Lodge. I think we talked about it on the show after we went hiking, but like if you have never been and you're up for taking a little bit of ride, go up there.
Yeah. And I make a reservation. It seems to be very, very popular.
Especially now I mean, this is Door County season. So what did you have to eat?
I had the pan-seared walleye, which was
Mm.
delicious, so delicious. And then I had a slice of their chocolate layer cake.
Mm.
It's the cake that I think of whenever I say like, oh, I want cake, right? And then I have something subpar. It's Donnie's Glidden Lodge chocolate layer cake that I'm envisioning.
Oh, good for you. I'm so glad that you were able to go and do that and celebrate with your family. That's pretty special.
And what's amazing is they were very accommodating, right? We had let them know that there would be one in our party with a wheelchair. And when we arrived, they had the table with the spot already available. So
I
I,
love
I appreciated that attention to detail.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a fully accessible restaurant.
Hey, Tim said, I tried to climb the rocks, but they were algae slippery because of the rising water. And there was a band of hungry crabs, maybe a band of hungry crabs, waiting to dine on me when I sank into the ocean. I'm happier being here in the 54220 and doing the radio show on Thursdays. Awesome.
Yeah.
Chris said, happy birthday week. And she actually came to the radio station. We had a show the morning of my birthday. So she met us there, gave me a big hug, brought a souvenir from France. It was very cool.
Oh, what was she on the show for?
No, she was there for her own show. But so, she made sure to come early so we could cross paths in the station.
That is
Oh,
just how sweet she is.
yeah.
It's just how sweet she is. That's great.
It was lovely to have a birthday hug.
I'm sure that it was, especially first thing in the morning. It just makes that extra little difference.
Yeah. Hey, okay, here in Wisconsin, right? And I think all across probably the nation, Lori says, good morning, beauties. Right back at you, Lori.
Yeah.
Common lunch or dinner food, right, is like a meat in a tomato sauce, ground beef in a tomato sauce served on a bun.
Okay.
What do you call that?
Well, I know where you're going with this. My first thought was like, oh, she's talking about spaghetti. But you texted me, you tipped me off about this. So I know that we're talking about what I grew up saying is hot tamales.
Me too. I grew up as saying hot tamales. So, viewers, do you call it a hot tamale? Which is obviously not what's meant by a hot tamale if you like, visit any of the South American or Latin countries, right? Or do you call it a sloppy Joe? Which I have to work really hard in my mind to say this is a sloppy Joe.
Yeah, I definitely grew up. I I grew up calling them hot tamales. I don't know why. At some point in my adulthood, and it might be because I have family in Ohio, we have transitioned to sloppy joes to communicate more accurately.
Well, here's what I found out. Here's why we call them hot tamales. It's a hyper local quirk to Wisconsin, specifically originating in and around Manitowoc and Sheboygan counties.
But why? I mean, a tamale is not even remotely close.
Well, let's see. Tim says a sandwich is a sandwich, but a, a sandwich is a meal. Um, you know, if you think about the the internal guts of it, right? Like the meat and saucy part of it, that's not so different than what's in a tamale, right? I think it might be flavored a little differently, but it's kind of similar to what's in an empanada, to what, there's a lot of, and then it's just that we don't doll it up with all the spiciness. We don't wrap it in the
I was gonna say,
corn
but
and the leaf.
doesn't
We serve it in a bun.
yeah, don't tamales have masa in it also?
Is it wrapped in a like, or is it, I don't
Yeah, I
know.
think it's like masa with a meat or seasoning, and then yeah, they're wrapped in corn husks. It's
Yeah.
stuffed with corn husks.
Right. So it's prepared totally differently. It's like if you ask for a hot tamale and that's what you're expecting, it's not at all what you're going to get. Lori
Mm,
says, I do, but then I quickly correct myself.
yeah.
Cindy says hot tamales.
Yep.
Chris says with pickles and chips. Yep, definitely.
I know. Chips and pickle with that is really good. Sometimes I'll make sloppy joes and I'll just make it in like it's one of those things that I can like throw together during the day really quickly and throw in a crock pot and keep warm. So on a night when we are coming and going as a family. And then like some of us will eat it on buns. Some of us put like cheese on it and eat it with tortilla chips.
Ooh.
We've done like sloppy Joe Mac before where I'll make like noodles and the kids can like, you can deck it out. Then Doug will put jalapenos on, which maybe officially makes it a hot tamale. Um, but yeah, it's just kind of, it's one of those things that's kind of fun. You can do different things with it.
Lori, yes, bubbler is regional. I don't know if it's as hyper local as hot tamale is, but that'd be interesting to look at. I know, you know, I went to university in Chicago and I remember going to the symphony there and I asked, "Oh, where's the nearest bubbler?" And it was just like blank. I'm like, "Oh, work with me. Like, what are you going to call this? Where are you
Yeah.
getting the water from?"
Yeah. My friend Jason, who lives in Virginia now, I heard him ask for a water fountain. Like, where's the water fountain? I was like, Jason, what are you asking for?
I guess that's what the rest of the world calls it.
I know. It's funny.
So, do your girls call it a hot tamale?
I think they probably call it a sloppy Joe now. When they were little, maybe they did, but we've matured over the years.
I have to say, when I think about the two terms, like Chris said, sometimes you just have to make your food sound a bit exotic. I think that's true. Like when you say hot tamale, it kind of sounds a little exciting, right? Or
Yeah.
sloppy Joe, like, huh?
I mean, the way you just said that takes me back to Adam Sandler and the lunch lady. And Slopper Joe, slopper Joe. Remember that?
Yes. Thinking about that, the lunch ladies always called them hot tamales when they served them at lunchtime.
Did they? Um,
Okay, you want to read that?
Tim said, I bet it was named when some guy thought the woman that prepared the sloppy Joe was hot. So he, I can't even say that word.
Colloquially.
colloquy. Leave it to a librarian to give me a word I can't even say. Said the sandwich was just like her, a hot tamale.
And it stuck. Nice.
Yeah.
Once, Arizona, I was invited to a cookout and they were serving tamales. In here, I sat there trying to cut it up, thinking you had to eat the corn husk. Oh, right. Not having the experience of what to even do when you get an actual hot tamale.
Yes. That's where you sit back and you see what other people do first.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Chris said it's like celebrating St. Nick's Day, common here, not elsewhere. Right.
That is true. That's an Eastern European tradition though. So I feel like there are pockets of it.
Tim, okay, the bubbler was a type of water fountain produced by the Kohler Company and distributed only in Wisconsin and parts of Massachusetts.
There you
Thank
go.
you.
Everything's right in the world now today. Now we know.
So, Tim, find out, why do we call them hot tamales in just this hyper local area?
It's great. It's good stuff. Listen, for the record, if you don't know the Adam Sandler Sloppy Joe song, I'll drop it in the comments today.
Could you
I'm
sing us
sorry.
another?
I'm sorry, and you're welcome.
What is the gist of his song?
It's a song all about the lunch lady serving sloppy joes. I can't remember what the other rest of the song. Do you remember the rest of it? How it goes?
I'm terrible at lyrics, by the way. I mishear lyrics all the time, so you don't want to ask me what they're saying in a song.
I think it was just basically an ode, ODE, to the lunch lady.
Nice. Very
Yeah.
nice. All right, Tim says he's on it. Okay, so Kristin, not only did you travel this week, but you had also traveled over the Memorial Day holiday, and you shared some pictures, and I thought they're so sweet. Let's talk about them because I've even been telling Jason about it. Like, look, okay, tell us what's happening here. Like, best dad award, right?
That's dad. Yeah. So we were very blessed. We flew this time. We had enough airline points. So we flew out of Chicago Midway direct to Columbus. And so we landed back. And of course, we all have to go to the bathroom. So we're like, Dad, hold our stuff.
Aww.
So yeah, this is Doug holding all of our stuff at the airport. And you can see he's smiling. He did an awesome job.
And he's actually like moving too. It's not like he hid in the corner and just guarded it all there.
We go to the right baggage claim. So he's like, okay, I'll meet you there.
Oh, gotcha.
Isn't that great?
Oh, holy smokes. Okay, let's see. Tim said, I bet that Carl Saraki knows why it's called a hot tamale. Oh, yeah, good point.
I don't know.
Okay.
Carl Saraki.
Carl Saraki, interesting. He was my history teacher when I started high school.
Okay.
It was like his first year. And then when Teak went to high school, he had Carl Saraki, and it was his last year of teaching.
Wow, that's really cool. He was
But
bookended with a Prigge.
yeah, right, right. But so he was like a local history buff, and for a while, and I'm not sure if he still does. He had like a history kind of live stream podcast.
Nice. I love that. That's cool.
Okay, okay. Kayla said "Lunch Lady Land" must be the name of the song.
Yes, thank you, Kayla. I love it.
Okay, Chris shared a lengthy description. But I'm going to read it because I don't think it'll put it all on screen. It says, in northeastern Wisconsin, especially around Sheboygan and Manitowoc and Two Rivers, many people grew up calling a sloppy joe a hot tamale. It's one of those quirky regional food names, like saying bubbler instead of drinking fountain. No one knows the exact origin, but the leading theory is that during the 1930s, recipes for tamale pie, a seasoned ground beef and tomato dish, became popular. The filling was very similar to what later became the sloppy joe sandwich. In the Sheboygan area, the name hot tamale appears in newspaper references as early as 1937, before sloppy joe became the dominant national term. The name stuck locally and was passed down through generations. Many longtime residents report that they didn't even hear the term sloppy Joe, same, until they were older because their families, schools, and church suppers always called them hot tamales. A fun local connection. Former students of the Manitowoc Public School District often remember Hot Tamale Day on the school lunch menu, even though the meal was what most Americans would call a sloppy Joe. So if someone in Manitowoc asks whether you want a hot tamale, don't expect Mexican food. You'll probably get a hamburger, but full of seasoned ground beef. Wow. Cool. Thanks for letting us know that.
That's great. 1930s? What?
And I think Campbell's Soup Company perfected the condensed like tomato soup in a can prior to that, like in the early 1900s. So it makes sense that we would have learned to use that because I think manwich, Tim, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I think manwich became a thing in like the 50s, 60s, much later.
Here's a fun fact. So my beloved Uncle Peanut, his family, they grew up eating ground beef with tomato soup. That was sloppy joes in their family, or hot tamales. Yeah.
Nice.
And that's the only way he will eat it now. Your timing with the tomato soup, and that's right on.
Nice. Very nice. Well, Kristin, I mean, this just went like that. This conversation was so fun and informative.
Hey, really quick, I want to just give a quick shout out. Our local fire department, the Silver Creek Fire Department, has their fish boil and steak fry tonight in the corner of 19th and Silver Creek Road. They've got food, I think, for like 4 to 7 usually, or 4 to 8, and there's a band there tonight. So if you are looking for fish boil or a steak and you want to come and support the fire department, we would love to have you.
Fun. So it's right on the fire station property.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, on 19th and Silver Creek Road, not out on Alverna Road. It supports both locations, but yeah, 19th and Silver Creek Road.
You know what? If there's a flyer or anything and you could post a link, please do.
I will drop it in the comments. So
viewers, thank you so much for having this conversation with us this morning. What I want to know is how many people are going to have hot tamales today?
I'm eating fish.
Oh, right. It's Friday. Good point.
Not because it's Friday, but just because it's fish boil day and it's so delicious.
Oh, yes. Excellent.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, this was so much fun. All right. Thanks for watching this episode of Coffee with Kristin and Tina. This is Kristin Odell. I'm Tina Prigge. We'll see you next time.